This is Dan Fogler, Jacob Kowalski from Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, and you are listening to the recap sequence. Boop, 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 blast off.
Previously on
the recap sequence.
Hey folks, welcome to a very special episode of the recap sequence. We're back. The world is on fire, but we have found a way to make this happen. And sitting right next to me, just over my shoulder, is my good friend and co-host Ryan. Ryan, how are you doing?
I'm well. How are you, sir?
I'm good, but I gotta say I miss you. The last time I saw you, you were dropping off wine. And then I drank it all, and I haven't seen you since. And that was a week ago, actually, like over a week ago, and that's a long time for you and I to not see each other. Where we're both used to working together and and seeing each other for the show. So it's been weird, but I'm glad we were able to do this. So how have you been staying sane around the house?
It makes you appreciate what you have when you don't have it.
Yeah, like groceries.
Well, I mean, we've been managing to make do. We do what we need to. I mean, I'm not going to let that stop me, but I think if everyone just sort of follows the rules out there, that we'll all be fine.
Yeah, and just for if the folks that are checking out our show from not New Brunswick, we are under a state of emergency. We are sort of severely limited in what we can do. Social distancing is now the new normal for the coming weeks. But we're not going to let it get in the way of doing our show because we have technology. We've got all kinds of great things at our disposal, and an unlimited budget. Right, the recap sequence is funded by mysterious benefactors, so we're just we have all kinds of goodies. So we could dig out all of the equipment out of the drawer, which you saw me get to do for the last 10 minutes while I tried to get this this thing started.
You've been feeding things through to me all week about fun things that we were going to be doing with the app, with the show, the site, and everything. And I think what's really different with this one here is. Even though we will be getting replayed on CHSR, like the show will be going up to CHSR because, community radio, we keep putting new stuff through and new content and everything like that. But one difference we can't do at CHSR that we can do right now is we can drink beer.
Yes, cheers to that.
Cheers to you, sir.
Cheers, my friend. And I am drinking a Timber Hog from Picaroons, which is just around the corner of the Roundhouse. Look, it's a different world. I got to tell you, I got my beer there a couple of days ago, and I got to say it was almost like a drug deal from the future. So the new process to get beer is you do it electronically. I sent an email. This kind of works for me too, because I've got kind of some antisocial tendencies. So some of this is actually working out quite well for me. But I sent them an email. I e-transferred the money, and they sanitized it right in front of me. They came out into the parking lot. Yep. It was in the rain. God love them. Come out in the rain, sprayed it down with, I don't know what the name of the sanitizer was. Sprayed it down and set it down next to my car. And I walked away. I took it, and that was it. Brown paper bag, no label, nothing. And there you go.
Post that.
Yeah,
I thought that was really cool. So then I did the same thing Sunday, and right now I'm drinking a Picaroons Blonde Ale. But not only that, I mean, I'm all about supporting right now the local businesses around town. I think this is a brilliant idea that Picaroons is doing. A lot of the local restaurants you can order takeout and so forth. I got my comics today.
Yeah.
I called Strange. I found out it was in my account, and then I added a couple more trades. I actually picked up volumes 28 and 29 of The Walking Dead.
It's a good time to do that, by the way.
Yes, because right before we got state of emergency, I picked up volume 27. which is all the fun stuff that's about to come up on Walking Dead. And I was like, you know what? I got to find out what happens. So I ordered that, and sure enough, I paid for it. I show up. They hang it on the hook on the outside of the door. It's great. You don't go into the shop, but your books are right there.
It's a comic reader's dream, really. No contact pickup. What a good time to support local businesses that are bending over backwards. So, like we were saying, Picaroons has completely changed the way they deliver things. Strange Adventures is doing no contact pickups. They're doing shipments. They got an eBay store going. Check them out, strangeadventures.com. You can get all the information that you need there. Actually, a good friend of ours who lives not far away from us either, just around the corner, who we also cannot hang out with because of the restrictions that are in place, ordered some games and art supplies from Endeavors downtown for the kids, just to help us sort of manage through this. Because I've got 3 kids that are home. They're very quiet right now. They're downstairs, but the school is canceled or closed for the foreseeable future. There may be some stuff happening in May. We don't know. But yeah, so, Endeavors showed up. The truck came into our driveway. They dropped it up on the doorstep. You learn to do things differently. I went to the grocery store. Social distancing at the grocery store is kind of bizarre because they've got the checkouts. It's one checkout between each checkout. They've now installed plexiglass. There's just enough room to slip your card in there to pay, and people are listening. People are standing 6 feet apart. We were out walking the dog, and it's almost like when you walk past people on the walking trail, they avoid you, right? Like. It's just what we're going to have to do from now on. Well, not from now on, until this passes. But who knows? This could go on for a couple of months. So there's
said to me though, and I'm really happy about it, because doing this right now breaks the monotony.
You bet.
Because you and I are basically working from home. My wife is not. She's deemed an essential service, so she is in at the veterinary hospital every day. But for me, I was really excited about doing this because it's like, okay, we've been texting back and forth, and okay, this, that, let's do this, let's have some fun. And the same thing, I got to just shout out pitch to Against the Mat. Drew and I are doing a recording tomorrow, actually, to talk about some stuff that's come up, and it's good to do these things. And I mean, we should say that shows like Next Gen, the Arc Recap, Better Call Drew, they're all going to happen here soon. So even if we don't get into the station yet, we're still going to do stuff here with the miracle of all your toys.
Yeah, well, like I said, like we can. You're still here. We're having a drink together. It's fantastic. So, we carry on, and I'm so thankful that we're able to do this. Like you said, we're non-essential. We're government employees that have been deemed non-essential, which you try not to take offense to that, but you can. One can only hope that things will get back to some sort of normal. But we are on standby. We are ready to do what we're needed to do. We could be redeployed into some more critical areas of the government if the need arises. But for now, we're just working from home, and I'm lucky. I get to. My wife is also at home. We get to manage our kids and all that stuff together. So lots of time to read comic books. You got your comic books today. Also, what a great time to binge watch. I actually read an article though. In Europe, Netflix had to throttle some of the bandwidth going out to its customers because of just the high demand for streaming services. So that's something I don't think anybody ever anticipated when it came to this kind of stuff. But there's an abundance of things to watch. Much to your chagrin, I have taken on watching Battlestar Galactica again every night. I take in a couple of episodes, and I don't know why I picked that one, considering the circumstances. But
but you explained to me why you did it, and that's fine.
Yeah.
I'm not going to hold that against you because, I mean, I know we're going to talk a bit about what we're watching, aside from your Battlestar there in a bit. But I got to ask, I mean, the big news that came out was just the other day, the Walking Dead season finale has now been pushed back to almost a standalone episode sometime possibly this summer.
They're going to end it on episode 15. Greg Nicotero kind of clarified with a tweet because there were some questions as to what still needed to be done. But there's a whole lot of post production that goes into these episodes, and maybe take that as a good sign that that episode 16 is going to be a really big one with lots of visual effects and all kinds of other bells and whistles, because that's the holdup right now. So yeah, they've had to close down production, and we'll see that sometime in the coming months. But we got a couple more episodes to go. So,
but this is what I can't understand, and I can't wrap my head around it. Is as a production company, why wouldn't you have all of this ready, knowing that we were probably 3 weeks away from the finale? How come it's not done yet? Why are you still working on it?
Well, I don't know. You saw how long it took me to get started here tonight, just plugging in wires. There are a couple of things I just kind of gave up on and threw to the side. So I don't know. I couldn't speculate on to what kind of stuff it takes to put together a much bigger show like that. But I do know that. Remember not too long ago we were talking to Dan Fogler, who plays Luke on The Walking Dead, and we were asking him about some of the things that they do, and there's lots of practical effects, but also there's a lot of things, a lot of the blood and the gore that they have on the show that gets added in post. So a lot of the sound editing. The last 2 episodes ago, they had to rebuild all of Hilltop just to burn it down. So there's all kinds of things, and who knows what's going to happen. There's we reached. I don't want to get too far into speaking of the dead territory, because we will get into a whole lot of detail about that in the weeks to come when we get Jen on. But the big cliffhanger from last week was the twist having to do with Alpha, and something that does happen in the book happens differently. There's a twist to it, and there's some alluding to some maybe a different path that's going to happen with Negan and a Daryl encounter coming up. So you never know what kind of stuff. There's a the whole Rick thing that just came up. So who knows what they're editing for that.
Now I'm wondering if that Rick thing is done. Is that shot? Is that ready to air?
Good question.
Did they turn around and put that in TV instead of movies into the theater?
Well, I don't. I kind of hope we see it in the theater. If you haven't noticed, I'm kind of adjusting my light here.
It's all right. I figured you're going for a dark, somber look.
Well, yeah, like Nightmare. No, I had anticipated doing this a lot earlier in the day, and now I'm losing all of the sun that I had. So just bear with me there. This is we're pros at this, right? I'll just set that back where I had it. Okay. So what have you been watching? I've been watching Battlestar, a post-apocalyptic human-limiting series, and we just finished talking about the Walking Dead, which is Holy or Plague thing. Have you been watching anything not related to the end of the world?
Well, I am completely caught up on Better Call Saul.
Okay, well that's good.
Where are you?
I did not see Monday night's episode, so
so good.
I had missed the week prior. I was very sleepy. I had a procedure at the hospital. That's about all I'm going to get into. And I came home, and I was still under the influence, we'll say, of the sedation. So I didn't quite make it to 10 o'clock Eastern time or Atlantic time to watch it. So on Monday night we went back and we watched that particular episode, but now I'm just waiting for on demand to put up the Monday's episode, because that one ended with Kim's in trouble. Kim got caught, so I don't know where that went. Basically,
let's put it this way. I'm sitting there watching, because I know I've talked to Drew, and he's a couple of episodes still behind, and I told him he's got to get caught up.
Yeah.
But this last episode was vintage Saul Goodman, vintage Mike Ehrmantraut, like really good. This was a very, I think it was split nicely between Mike and Jimmy this episode.
Oh, good.
And you're gonna love what Jimmy does to Howard.
Okay, because Jimmy's been doing some things to Howard.
Yeah.
There was I'm still not quite sure why he was throwing bowling balls over the gate in the previous episode and vandalizing. I know that I'm not quite sure I get what Howard's up to anyway, courting Jimmy to try and join the firm. So I'll be curious to see what's coming up next. I love the things that Jimmy's been doing to delay. Well, Saul, he's not Jimmy anymore.
What's Saul?
What Saul's been doing to delay the eviction.
Backer's house.
Yeah, like the crushing up the batteries out of the or whatever it was out of the smoke detectors
the
the mercury, to contaminate the soil, and then planting all of the faux artifacts. And I love the sheriff there too. I got to make a call. That guy there, he's he kind of seems to be on a little bit on Saul's side too. So I'm really enjoying that. Interesting, the monument that to Max that Gus has set up in that little hacienda.
Look, I know we were going to talk about this with Better Call Drew, but I might as well just ask you right now.
Sure.
Are we supposed to know what that tribute is to Max?
Well, yeah, Max is Gus's business partner. Remember back on Breaking Bad when it was Hector. Hector shot. They were down talking to Don Eladio, trying to set up a deal where they were going to transition into from cocaine to meth, and they had the whole Chicken Brothers thing and whatever. But
yes. So
then he was brutally murdered. So it's all about revenge. That's this whole revenge angle that Gus has going with Mike right now. Is Max was his partner, and one can kind of assume that they were a little bit more than just business partners. So.
Put it this way: this past week's episode, Wexler versus Goodman, is what it's titled.
Yeah.
So good.
Good. I can't wait to see
So
it.
good. And the ending's going to catch you completely off guard.
Really?
Yeah, and there's only 4 episodes left after that.
Well, and there's another season coming. So this is the thing about Better Call Saul. It's been, I think by the time season 3 had wrapped up, we were starting to see, elements of the lab being built, and it was kind of like we were wondering how are they going to bridge the gap here, or how are they going to lengthen? Sorry, how they bridge the gap between what happens in Better Call Saul and then the Breaking Bad universe. But obviously they've still got all kinds of stuff to come after this, so I'm totally looking forward to that.
My only hope is, again, because we don't know where this stupid COVID virus is how long it's gonna go for, and whether it will. I'm hoping that season 6 is already shot. They've been at it for a year and a half now, right? Like, it's been a year and a half since we saw the last season.
I don't know how far ahead they do this, so I certainly hope that they don't get held up. It's kind of like with the writer's strike. You ended up with these short seasons. Breaking Bad was one of those shows that was shortened. That first season was shortened because of that. So I would love to get beyond this. I mean, there's other reasons, obviously, to want to see a pandemic end other than production of your favorite television shows. But I don't want to be uncomfortable. I want to watch all the TV.
It's funny that you would say that, because it's, even though like this is right now, a lot of the TV shows are wrapping up, are coming to an end. We still have a whole bunch still to watch. You and I, there's the new the new Walking Dead? Is it Worlds Beyond?
Yeah, well, that's been pushed back.
Oh, has it?
Yeah. I'm not sure how far back it's been pushed, but that's delayed.
I didn't know
now.
that.
Yeah, actually, my wife, she's been doing some writing for a TV publication, and I think I'm allowed to say this. And she was doing an article on that, and sort of just before she put the final period on the article, she found out that it was going to be pushed back. So
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure. Maybe on the break I'll have a quick look and see. And
but then there's also also Fear the Walking Dead that's supposed to be back this summer.
Yeah, now Fear the Walking Dead's another one that and it's I so want to talk about The Walking Dead, but I don't want to step on Jen's toes here because I want her to get caught up. I don't want to spoil it for her if she sees this. But there's some stuff. There's some stuff that's happening that's going to cross over the two shows for sure.
You think so?
Absolutely, yeah. That whole thing at the very end of you did watch Sunday night's episode, right? Yeah. So where Michonne ends up with the people she ends up with, definitely a total crossover. between.
I was expecting more to be a crossover with Rick's thing.
Well, there's that too. Anyway, don't. Jen's gonna be so mad.
Okay.
Let's not
Right.
let's not do this.
So then, what about Fear the Walking Dead, though?
So I have no
So
idea.
you think? Well, I guess we're kind of just sort of jumping around. I mean, that one's done; it's ready to go, as far as I know.
Yep.
So I'm curious as to whether that one gets pushed back or not.
I think we can expect that anything at this point that isn't completed production-wise is going to be pushed back a bit. I would hope they have some episodes that have been that are ready to go. But if The Walking Dead season 10, which is just about done as far as airing, isn't done, then I think it's safe to assume that Fear the Walking Dead it's not quite in the can yet. So
I guess we'll find out on that one.
Sure.
There's a couple other shows, but I don't know. Do you want to chat about them after the break?
Yeah, why don't we take a quick break? I'm actually going to fix my lighting situation because the sun is going down. You, sir, are a ghost over here, but
Really?
I am completely grateful to have you over my shoulder. One thing I'm noticing that I'm doing is I keep turning and looking at you, but I can actually see you on. Anyway, I'm so not good at this, and I'm also noticing I'm doing weird things like scratching my face and stuff. You're not supposed to touch your face, by the way. So don't do as I do. Do as Ryan does.
So I've been doing the same thing, so don't worry about it.
Yeah. So chugging along, business as usual. We have a new comics coming up. It's New Comics Day. It's March 25th. It's Wednesday. Ryan, I know you got your books. If you didn't get your books, take a look at this next piece and see what's on the shelves this week. And remember, there's all kinds of ways that you can get your books by supporting a local comic shop. Just give them a call and ask them how they can get their great product to you. So with that, enjoy, and we'll be right back.
Extra, read all about it, read all about it, read all about it. Extra, read all about it, read all about it, read all about it. Extra, read all about it, read all about it.
Hey folks, it's Jay at Strange Adventures giving you a safe distance recap of the comics that are coming out this week. Kicking things off are some stuff related to movies and TV shows, like, for example, Star Wars Bounty Hunters, that's on number 2, while Jim Henson's The Dark Crystal Age of Resistance is on number 7, and Stranger Things Into the Fire is on issue 3. But there's a brand new title you can get in on the ground floor for. It's Transformers vs. Terminator number 1. While over in the Capes and Tights division, we got Far Sector number 5 of 12, a great little Green Lantern series. Flash is on number 752, while Wonder Woman is on number 754. The new Legion of Superheroes series is on issue 5, while Amazing Spider-Man is on number 42. If you're digging the idea of a Falcon and Winter Soldier TV series, maybe check out the miniseries in comics. It's Falcon and Winter Soldier number 2 of 5, while Doctor Doom wraps up his first arc at Pottersville. The X-Family have had a revitalization thanks to Jonathan Hickman. If you've been digging that stuff, you can pick up his New Mutants Volume 1, that's out this week. And there's a handful of single issues, too, like Wolverine is on number 2, while the main X-Men title is on issue number 9. You can pick up a great giant-size one-shot and giant-size X-Men Nightcrawler number 1, or get a start on Hellions issue 1. If you want something a little edgier, you can check out the uncensored Cimmerian Queen of the Black Coast number 2. That's right, it's the uncensored versions of the Robert E. Howard Conan stories in comic form. While Judge Dredd has a brand new series, False Witness. Or you can have a look at the critically acclaimed Once and Future Volume 1. And as for staff picks, I have been absolutely loving Folklords. Issue 5 of that 5-issue miniseries is wrapping up. If you didn't get the singles, don't worry, you can get your pre-orders for the trades into your local comic shops now. And a fantastic collection of something from yesteryear. It's one of my favorite Elseworld stories from DC. It's Justice League of America, The Nail, the complete collection. So there you go, folks. That's just a handful of the goodies that are out this week. And please support your local businesses, including your local comic shops. Give them a call, reach out to them by email, Facebook, Twitter. Place your orders that way. Many shops are offering delivery as well as no-contact, safe distance pickups. There's lots of ways that you can continue supporting your local comic shops, so they're still around when we get to the other side of this virus situation. But in the meantime, boy, do we have a lot of time to read more comics.
Well, there you have it, folks. That's your update from Jay at Strange Adventures. I miss that guy. Jay, thanks so much for providing the audio, providing the list, and there's somebody that I
local business.
Support your local business, and I don't see any of my friends anymore. So at least this is the sort of the tie that binds. So again, super grateful that we're getting a chance to do this. Glad that we were able to kind of do some normal stuff. So it's really important that you think about your community in this particular kind of unprecedented situation. So glad to be able to support Strange Adventures as in however small way that we can by getting the word out, and just know this, that your local businesses are doing what they can to stay afloat during all of this. So any little bit helps.
Now,
there's my plug.
There are a couple other shows. One that I'm looking forward to, I'm hoping it doesn't get pushed back, but I can't see why it's not, would be sort of follows one that ends tomorrow night. Star Trek Picard.
Yeah, so I feel really bad at how delinquent I've been. This was one that we've been talking up. We've been talking it up for the entire year leading up to it, and I have really dropped the ball on watching Picard. And I even a couple of days ago I was folding laundry. I got to the bottom of my laundry, everyone. Just in case you were wondering, I got 3 kids. They generate a lot of dirty stuff, and so I folded something like 11 loads of laundry. So I did watch a couple of episodes. I had to go back though because I'd completely forgotten where it was. It's a great show. It didn't grab me though at the very beginning, so I feel really, really bad because I'm supposed to be the sort of like the uber Star Trek fan here, and I've been coming up short. But you and Jen have been carrying the ball, and
we've both watched. Have you seen the Riker episode yet? Then
no,
the Rikers. Okay,
no, Rikers. Now you've just spoiled it. No, I'm really bad for reading spoilers, as you all know. So I kind of
we noticed that. Yeah. But it's so good. It's just there's so much going on, and then there's a huge reveal last week's episode. Oh my God, I can't wait for you to get caught up on all of this, because you will. It's, you know what, I've seen some people mention how it's boring or it's slow. You know what? I like it because it's telling a story. Yeah. You don't need something that constantly rush.
I don't mean to imply that it's boring, but I will say this on a weeknight, on a Thursday night, and Thursday is about, I'm getting to the end of my steam for the week. Again, it's that 10 o'clock airtime. I have fallen asleep during every episode. I'm kind of embarrassed to admit. But
we're getting old.
We are. We're getting really old. So, but I'm looking forward to sort of having at it again. I have no excuse at this point. So, is our next show going to be a next gen? That's our schedule's kind of up in the air. So,
our schedule right now to get sort of back on track would be a next gen episode. Yeah. The only thing right now on our schedule that will not happen until next year now will be the Black Widow review. So,
right, yeah,
that will come. But we will have some arc recaps with Mr. O'Hara. They're coming up. But yeah, so next gen should be the next one we're going to do, which I'm super excited about. I got to get your thoughts. So they talked about looks like it's going to be a crossover at some point. The Anson Mount Christopher Pike character will eventually cross over with Captain Picard.
So I'm not sure how that happens unless there's some sort of a time travel, right? Because
that would be my guess.
Because there's a century that separates them, if I'm not mistaken, right? Because but Star Trek Discovery, ended 1,000 years in the future, so anything's possible. The Kelvin timeline is a completely different reality. Star Trek has traveled in time several times, once to save the humpback whales, which clearly hasn't helped us at all in this particular situation. Not that was real, but yeah, I'm assuming there's going to be some sort of a time shift thing. But that's cool. I like the Ensign Mountain Pike. I'd love to see more of them. The
So
only thing
would
I will say this, and I'm going to complain about it again. I don't like the uniforms. I like that they used the three colors. You know, the gold and the red and the blue. But I don't like the weird thing they did with the collar. I wasn't a fan of that.
But you also touched on it. Star Trek Discovery is coming in May, I think. They haven't announced the release date yet.
Yeah, let's hope that's been filmed. I assume that's been all taken care of. There's another one too. I got to go back and watch season 3 and all that Red Angel stuff, and just get that sorted in my mind before we jump. Going back to actually the whole 1,000 years in the future. You remember they did the short treks, and they've come out with a bunch more short treks since the first 4 that they did. There was a short.
I haven't seen them. I got to find them.
The new ones or the older ones?
Yeah. The new ones.
Okay, so the older ones, though, you remember there was one short trek that took place. It was the Discovery. It was 1,000 years in the future.
Yeah.
There's just like one guy on there. So I'm wondering if they'll tie that in. I mean, it was a character from the show, I think, that woke up on the ship, right?
Yeah.
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 Interesting stuff. Star Trek, they can do anything, though.
Exactly.
And they
I mean,
do, whether it makes sense or not.
But I mean, the fact that you're choosing Battlestar over Picard.
I'm not
hurts a
choosing.
little.
No. Now, okay. I explained this. I explained the whole comfort food aspect of it. I don't crave apocalypses, but there's and I don't know why you don't like it. By the way, I think you should go back and watch it again. To be quite honest, you did like the first couple of seasons, right? Never mind. Let's not even
Once I
talk
got
about
past the 3-hour movie.
Well, okay. That
You told me I had to watch that movie first.
Yeah, well, you're supposed to, because then you don't really. Otherwise, you don't understand the whole Sharon thing, the Cylon that's already in the fleet. But I'm not going to force you to watch this, but I do think it's one of the best shows ever. I actually was kind of doing a list as I was making dinner with my wife the other day. I was going through what my favorite shows are, and I got to say, it's still number one. I mean, I'd say that's number one.
Really?
Let's do this right now. Let's do our top five. So I would say Battlestar Galactica, number 1. Breaking Bad would be number 2. Oh boy, this is now it's getting hard. See, Game of Thrones. If it wasn't for season 8, I would make that my number 3. A Firefly. Did you ever watch Firefly?
No.
Oh my god. Okay, I don't even know why we're doing this show together anymore. I would say Better Call Saul would be in my top 5. We'll say that. We'll say Battlestar Galactica, Breaking Bad, Firefly, Game of Thrones, and Better Call Saul. There's my top 5.
Wow, you and I are so different now.
All right, let's hear it.
NYPD Blue.
Oh my God, how old are you?
Yep. The Shield.
Yep.
The West Wing.
Right.
Better Call Saul.
Okay.
And then it's a toss-up. It's a toss-up tie, depending on what kind of mood I'm in. Either Sherlock or MASH.
Okay, so you're like actually going way back in time here. See, my kids would not understand you. But if we're going back that far, I would say like WKRP ranks up there. You ever watch WKRP?
Oh yeah.
Okay, yeah. I don't know if anyway. There's lots of old stuff too. This could easily go into a top 25.
I don't watch this show, but you and my wife do. Did you see you know what I'm talking about right now. There was a thing on Facebook. You know how they have all those different advertisements
Yes.
of different things? There's a new one that's out that has, what's his face there? Steve Carell from The Office.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Mug,
with the mug that says Toby spread COVID-19. Yeah. I thought that was pretty awesome. And again, there's another show. There's a Ryan Howard on the show. Why? Anyway, yeah, The Office is a great show. They actually did kind of like a Sweet 16 sort of playoff bracket thing with ranking all of like a select episode list of episodes. And
you tagged my wife in that, but she never saw it.
Oh no! Okay, well I'll have to the dinner party one, which I actually watched with my kids. Watched The Office. I'm corrupting them, but we watched that just a couple of nights ago. And if you watch any episode of The Office, watch the dinner party. Just look it up and find
That
it.
one is funny. I will give them
Okay,
that
so
one.
you have seen the dinner party then with
Yes,
with
Allie made me watch that with plasma TV.
with his plasma TV and her assistant's album Hunter the Hunted and that song. Yeah. Anyway, what a great episode. You see, another great show to binge watch while it's still on Netflix. That one I think is leaving Netflix fairly soon, and I don't think Friends is going to be there forever either. Those are again things that you can go to. It's like having a bowl of chips in front of you. You just start and
There's another
you
one.
can't stop.
Rick and Morty.
Well, yeah. I don't even know why that didn't make it into my top 5. That's a great show. Rick and Morty's an awesome show. There's one that we always poor Andre. Andre comes on to talk about Rick and Morty with us, and it's always seems like he gets sort of half the experience that he deserves because we go and we talk about this with him, and he reads so much more into it, and rightly so. He's paying attention to all the details. But I'm sort of it's all the burping and farting jokes that I kind of pick up on. But there's a deeper meaning. It's a really good show. Not for the kids though.
But there's still 4 new episodes to go.
Yeah.
Which I keep checking to see when they're going to release them, but they haven't done it yet. So
it has nothing to do with the virus either. That's just Adult Swim being slow. Come on, Comedy Network.
Well, I mean, you don't want them to replay the one episode where Morty gets Rick to make him a love potion so Jessica will love him, and it ends up mutating the whole world because every time he screws the potion up.
Yeah, no, not a good time for that. Too soon to rewatch that
yes.
one.
Yeah.
Have you? I've been meaning to sit down with my kids and start a Marvel movie rewatch. Have you rewatched any of the Marvel stuff?
I haven't right now because most of the shows that I'm watching are still on, so I'm good with that. But Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., there's another one that's coming back. Its final season is this summer. That one's already been shot and ready to go. So at least I know there'll be that new one that we'll be able to do. But no, I was kind of looking at it the other. They've been replaying a lot of them on TV lately.
Yeah, well, I mean, again, now's the time that we're paying attention the most to television, right? Like, I don't watch any TV until late at night, and usually I get sucked into the streaming stuff like Amazon Prime or there. I just touched my face again. Don't touch your face. I've been another great show to get sucked into, which I don't know why you won't watch this, is Parks and Recreation on it's on Amazon Prime. You can watch all of it, what a great way to spend some time in self-isolation. But
by watching Amy Poehler. Okay.
I don't know why you have it. You don't like funny people. I don't understand. They're some of the funniest people, and you just hate them.
Steve Carell's funny.
He's funny. You like him.
Yes.
But you don't like The Office.
No.
Okay.
I know.
That's fine. All right. Well, I'm not gonna push you. I'm not gonna force you.
Hey, I was thinking about this the other day, and I was talking to a friend of mine. Could you imagine if what we're going through right now had happened this time last year?
Why?
We would have had no Endgame.
Oh, right.
We would have had no Game of Thrones.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I can't imagine. Well, look, maybe we all would have been better off if we didn't have season 8 of Game of Thrones. Come to think of it,
come on now, it's not that bad.
I say that. Look, I'm using my Feast of Thrones beer mug. It was almost a year ago that we went to the Delta and had our Feast of Thrones, which was a great way to watch the finale for sure.
It was.
Just wasn't a very satisfying episode.
We would never have had Feast of Thrones.
No, you're right. I gotta stop knocking it. It was okay.
We would never have had. Okay. Jen would never have come up.
It's in my top 5. Yeah. So now, we've been speaking of Jen coming to Fredericton. I don't think this is going to happen anytime soon. We're not going to have our Feast of Thrones reunion unless we do it this way, right? We can do it on.
Well, we'll get our program director Mark Kilfoyle on, and he'll be baking for us in the background there.
Yeah. I hope Mark's doing all right. This is so weird. I gotta say, like, I'm really every time I look at this feed here, I'm very self-conscious of how I look. We're on radio for a reason, I think.
Hey, our pictures
We're doing
are
all
up
right.
for social media when we're at Halcon or ECCE. So
Yeah, you're right. Hopefully, ECCE is going to proceed as planned, but you never know. That's June 5th in Moncton. If you
check
haven't
out the
marked it on your
lineup.
calendar, there's a great lineup on eastcoastcomics.ca.com, eastcoastcomics.com, or ECCE Expo. At ECC Expo on Twitter. You can get the whole lineup there. So hopefully everything will be okay for that. We'll see. Who knows? They're saying anywhere from a couple of weeks to 18 to 24 months. So we'll just kind of have to take it one day at a time.
Absolutely. And I mean, as long as everybody, listens to the experts out there.
And there are experts, and go to your local government sources. Our GNB.ca website's probably the best place that you can go to get your updates. We get daily briefings on CBC News from our premier and our chief medical officer of health. Go to the right sources, though, and don't get sucked into the rumors. Don't be drinking aquarium cleaner or anything like that just because it's got magical ingredients in it that allegedly have been said to fight the virus. I read an article about this in the States. A couple, and unfortunately, the husband died. They ingested chloroquine, or I'm not quite sure.
Oh.
I'm no scientist, but aquarium medicines or whatever. Probably not the best thing to be ingesting under any circumstances. Call 811 if you need to. If you're in New Brunswick, you can talk to an expert. But try not to tie up the lines. If you got a cold. Maybe you just got a cold, but
They have information online to determine whether you've got the symptoms or not. Follow that stuff.
Use the self-assessment tools. One thing I did notice, some of the businesses now have sort of a questionnaire before you even walk in the door. You have to answer. It's like Rick Grimes in the 3 questions, right? But if you answer yes to any of those questions, maybe you should turn around and not take that risk. Hello, Mr. Weasley.
I have a Flurkin.
He does look like a Flurkin.
Yeah, and it's funny because I got Audrey's poster behind me. So
nice.
Yes, I have a Flurkin visiting us.
Very nice.
Hey, 2 shows you should get into if you like comedies. Way better than Parks and Rec.
Okay, yeah, yep.
Schitt's Creek.
Yeah.
Canadian.
Mm-hmm.
2 episodes left until they're done.
And then they're done. Funko is releasing the pop figurines for them. They look great. I gotta say.
And Kim's Convenience, another CBC one.
Yeah, that's another one that I haven't gotten into. But like I said, we've got time. We've got time to do this. So
yeah, we definitely do.
Well, Ryan, look, this has been awesome. Like I said, last time I saw you was a week ago. You were dropping wine off on my front step, and then you vanished just like that. So don't be a stranger. You can sit over my shoulder anytime and drink a beer. And this is sort of how things are going to look from at least for the next little while. I do think I'll work on the lighting in.
Hey, look, next time
not
we
my
try
studio, but.
We're in the daytime. We can do it during the day.
Yeah.
I mean, you've been hard at work trying all these different cool things for the show. So I think it's, I was looking forward to this just to be able to, do something that's in it that I'm familiar with, and it's breaking the monotony. So
yeah,
here's to you, sir.
Thank you. Cheers to you, and to all of your cleaning. I got to say, what were you? You cleaned all your walls and doors. I have not done that. I've done some laundry, and I did clean up around this particular space so that people wouldn't see just how filthy I live. But this has been fun. And folks, look, thanks for watching. I mean, this is the first time we've done it this way. Like I said, it feels really weird. And I I appreciate you, not suffering through. Hopefully, the last 45, 50 minutes. We love to chat, Ryan and I, and
Yeah.
we love to watch shows. We love to recap our favorite stuff, and we love that you guys listen. And we would appreciate any input you have. Look, go to our social media. Let us know what we want to talk about next time around. These shows are going to be different for a little while. We'll do our Speaking of the Dead. We'll do our arc recaps, and we'll do our Better Call Drews. But one thing, and our next gens, we can't forget about that. But one thing is for certain, we are in different times. So let us know how you're getting by. You can always send us a message on Twitter or Instagram at Recap Sequence, or just go to our Facebook page, facebook.com/Recap Sequence, and post something on our wall. And if you want to talk about it next week, hopefully we'll be doing this. As frightening as it is to just do this as a recording, we're gonna actually try doing this on Facebook Live, where you're the man that usually is pulling all the levers and flipping all the switches at the station. So
This time it's all on you, buddy.
it's all me. I was telling you, I actually, I can't even stand up. It's like a fighter jet cockpit in here. I've got tripods and mic stands and mixers and all kinds of wires that have me pinned into this chair. And if I touch any of them, this whole thing will fall over. So we'll see how it goes. Though next time we'll do it live.
Yeah, and one other thing I just want to say, knock on wood, that we get back to some semblance of normalcy here, because our first show back in August, I cannot wait.
Big plans. We we were going to travel this whole no traveling
Literally.
around. We got big plans to do a double episode first week of August, over just after the civic holiday, if we can. If not, we'll make do. We're doing fine, and we hope you are too. So listen, Ryan, cheers to you. Thanks again for sitting through all my fumbling around tonight, and thanks to you guys for listening and watching. And we'll do this again soon. Take care.